Hi folks, I've got a little bit of a beast to show you today, a ThruNite TN42. Hardly an everyday carry light, comparing it to say the ThruNite TC15, we can see straight away the type of beast that we're dealing with. So why on earth would we want to go for something like this when we can get a ThruNite TC15 or many of the other manufacturers sort of everyday carry type lights with very, very decent output? Why would we want to go for this type of monster? Okay, there's some very good reasons why that may be the case. Firstly, the size of the reflector is very, very much going to dictate how any flashlight works. Obviously the LED that you can see nestled down in there will affect it greatly, but the diameter and size and depth of the reflector will massively dictate performance. In comparison with, say, the ThruNite TC15, the TC15 is just not going to cut it in comparison with a reflector of that size. And once we start increasing the size of a flashlight, it helps greatly with the heat dissipation. I mean, the TC15 will overheat pretty quickly, as will most of those torches of that size, including some of the smaller single 18650 throwers, unless they're really, really low powered. But this particular one's using a Cree XHP 35, and the 35 isn't renowned for being a particularly hot running nor particularly high powered LED. Come on, camera focus. Come on, there we go, sorry about that. But we can maximize it because of the size of the lens. That in turn helps us with the heat dissipation problem. And the other consideration is, once we've got a torch of this kind of size, let's open him up and show you what it runs from. Once we've got the capacity within the body, you can start to utilize this type of thing here, a battery carrier. There's several different designs for this, but they're all pretty similar, where we can use our own batteries, and instead of a single or double battery flashlight, we've got a 4 battery flashlight, and we're only trying to power a Cree XHP 35, so we're going to get massively increased run times. Oh, sorry about that. Right, let's pop that back in there. Just a note on these types of cases as well, you do have to be ever so careful about scratching or damaging your batteries as you're putting them in and out of these things. So let's pop that back on there with some degree of care. So in summary, we go for this type of light when we're not trying to fit it in our trouser pockets, of course, but what we're wanting is the performance of a large and deep diameter head, the benefits of the increased heat dissipation, and the benefits of an increased battery capacity. So moving on, ThruNite, I've put this little clip on the end there, I'll show you why in a moment, but ThruNite did provide a shoulder strap for this. This little clip here is removable, we don't have to have that on if we don't want. I do, and I'm using my own strap for it, but it did come with one. That's why I've put that little clip on the end there, so I can put my own shoulder strap on it. Now, in terms of its specifications, let's have a quick look. They say, ThruNite are saying it's one of the most powerful throw LED lights on the market. Yeah, it certainly is. As mentioned, the Cree XHP 35, a high output of 2000 lumens and an ultra long distance of 1550 meters. Reverse polarity protection on the batteries, yeah, that's great. As we've seen, it runs off 4 batteries. Now, in terms of its run time, starting on the on what they're saying it's turbo mode, I'm getting 2000 lumens for 1.3 hours, high 780 lumens. Now, it doesn't sound much, does it? But that 780 lumens from a head that diameter, where we're getting 5.3 hours medium, 255 lumens at 17 hours. So we'll take that out and test that shortly, and I think you'll be impressed with how the size of the reflector utilises that amount of power. It does mention there that the power will step down, but doesn't give us any indication as to when, other than it will occur if the torch reaches 80 degrees. But as mentioned, a Cree I can never say that properly, XHP 35, on a torch with the body of this size, I'm not expecting it to get particularly hot quickly. And of course the temperature is going to depend on where you're using it. It's drop resistant, as you probably noticed on there, and it's water resistant to IPX8. Now, in terms of its operation, it's pretty simple. One click on, one click off. When we're in the on mode, I don't know whether you can see it just there, the blue battery will tell us that the blue light, sorry, will tell us our battery's in good order, and it will turn red when we need to do something about the batteries. We can hold the power button and it will cycle through low, medium and high. A double click at any point will take us to turbo. And if we turn it back on, it will remember its last previous mode, other than turbo. So pretty straightforward operation. There's no kind of hidden blinkies or fancies in there. This is just a straight throwing, well, beast of a searchlight. So let's take it out and see what it can do. Hi folks, so we're out with the ThruNite TN42 starting on its lowest possible mode. Yeah, it's usable. It's actually throwing a reasonable amount of distance as well. That fade spot you can see there, that's probably 40 meters away. Let's knock it up to medium. Again, that's okay, 50 meters. At closer range like this, I mean, this is perfectly usable. We're getting a very, very nice amount of spill there. I mean, I could walk these dogs with that with no problem at all, and looking at the run times for hours on end as well. But without further ado, let's pop him up to high. Just go back to those 50 meters as well. Now I'm getting quite a lot of spill now off its high mode, and that's just short of 800 lumens. The camera, as with all throwers, is struggling to focus on that spot in the distance and correctly demonstrate what we can see here. But when you get to this type of distance, you can see there that ginormous wide spot there. The camera's really, really struggling with that. But let's keep it on high and let's start to open up this distance here. And I'm getting out now towards 100 meters, and on its high mode, again, only in commas, only just short of 800 lumens. We're now going out to sort of 850 meters there, sorry, 150 meters there in the distance. That's a scarecrow with a reflective jacket somebody's put in the middle of the lake. And to my eye there, that is absolutely smashing that distance. The furthest I can reach is to the opposite end of this particular lake. Now we're going out to 250 meters now. Now if there was somebody there, I mean, I probably couldn't see them with my eye anyway, they're that far away, but the beam is reaching that, no problem at all. And the tops of those trees there in the distance, which I realise the camera isn't picking up fantastically well. We're going way beyond now, but I can't see much further than that to test this light, beyond sort of 300 meters. And if we pop him onto turbo at that distance there, I mean, if there was anybody over there now at 250 meters, they'd think the aliens had landed or something. They're like, oh my god, it's just absolutely smashing that distance. And we're only putting out 2000 lumens on the Cree XHP 30. I said it right that time, the Cree XHP 35. And then moving back, as I move along the side of this lake here, we can see that it's absolutely having no problem. And at that kind of distance there, I mean, that's just ridiculous amount of light being concentrated in one area. If you want a thrower, with such good performance, given its lumen output. I mean, let's just jump back to its high mode again. High mode, 150 meters, absolutely smashing that distance at less than 800 lumens. That's just amazingly good, and it goes back to what we were saying when we were looking at the light on the desktop there. It's the size and depth of the reflector that's enabling that superb performance from a relative low lumen output. And your turbo mode again, I mean, shining it up in the sky there. I mean, that's going to be visible for miles around, I would imagine. Fantastic light, absolutely fantastic, if you can cope with the size. But if you can cope with the size, we've discussed what the benefits you reap from that are. And for this type of thing, I mean, these dogs that I'm walking here, I have to be careful not to. These dogs I'm walking here, they'll have to run a long way before they get out of range of this torch, that's for certain. Okay, I'll carry on a bit further, and I'll see how it performs heat-wise, and I'll deliberately leave it on its turbo mode and see what happens. Anything significant, I'll come back to you. Other than that, thanks very much, folks.